right, now that President Biden dropped out, we can play the next parlor game in D.C. It's what everybody's talking about. Who's going to be her vice president? The governor of Michigan said today she wouldn't take the job, leaving Roy Cooper, North Carolina, Josh Shapiro, Pennsylvania, Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona, J.B. Pritzker of Illinois, Andy Beshear, governor of Kentucky. At this morning's casting call on MSNBC, they all acted just a little too cool for school.
As vice president, you undoubtedly would be able to help your own people. So are you at least open to the possibility of being a running mate to Vice President Harris?
Well, I think if somebody calls you on that, what you do is at least listen.
Would you be open to the conversation if vice president and the Harris campaign asked?
So I think it's really important that we do keep the focus on her this week. The vice presidential conversation needs to occur later.
Director of Data Science, Decision Desk HQ, Scott Tranter, NewsNation contributor, Democratic strategist, Kurt Bardella. Gents, good to see you. This reminds me of like when you were calling a girl and asking her for prom, right? And she's like, well, maybe. Let me think about it. Let me see if I get any better offers. Got to look at some polling, maybe a little bit of data. We'll put up the 270 to win map. Scott and I were up early. You were probably sleeping in.
I wasn't invited.
Okay, well, there you
waiting for the talking points.
Yeah,
really.
Just wait. Okay, so he made the point, Pennsylvania and North Carolina, that if Democrats win either one of those two states, that is the race.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's Shapiro or Cooper?
I think so. I mean, I think, again, on the Democrat side here, to me, there's no path to victory, specifically without Pennsylvania, especially. I think that is the most important of the swing states here that Democrats have to hold. So I think conventional wisdom, for whatever that's worth, we would say Shapiro makes a lot of sense. The one benefit of Cooper, though, is unlike all the other selections that you're talking about, it doesn't cost the Democrats anything. You're not losing a competitive seat or a governor that's in a good spot. You're not triggering any kind of special election that's going to be competitive and cost millions of dollars. Cooper's already going to be on the way out anyway, so there's a benefit there.
He's a little older, right? It's a different play in terms of how it looks. We heard from Kamala Harris, though, who normally it's the vice presidential nominee who's the attack dog. Now she's at the top of the ticket, and pretty much a lot, I would say, of her speech today at her headquarters was not about her and what she was going to do. It was about Donald Trump. Take a listen.
Donald Trump was found liable by a jury for committing sexual abuse. Donald Trump ran a for-profit college, Trump University, that was forced to pay $25 million to the students it scammed. Donald Trump stood in Mar-a-Lago and told big oil lobbyists he would do their bidding for a $1 billion campaign contribution. Donald Trump was just found guilty of 34 counts of fraud.
All right, Scott Tranter, who is there that was going to vote for Donald Trump, but now that Kamala Harris is on the ticket and she's saying all of these bad things about Donald Trump, they're going to vote for Kamala Harris?
Yeah, I don't know that that's a very measurable segment. I think the better way to look at it, if we're trying to find some pros for Kamala Harris, is there's a lot of Democrats who are like, I'm not excited to come out for Joe Biden, but now
that's what
I
Dan
am.
Kildee. Yeah, that's the difference. So speaking of that, right? Okay, the way we're going to see this is in polling, because right now, statistically, Kamala Harris is doing the same as Joe Biden, right? She is basically a stand-in. And this is on the if, right? This is on the promise for Democrats. We're going to kick Joe Biden out, and hopefully Kamala Harris is going to start doing better in the polling because we think she has an upside. Kurt Bardella, to you, what keeps the same Democrat cabal that kicked out Joe Biden from looking at polling 2 weeks from now when it hasn't changed and saying, okay, we're going to get Kamala Harris out?
Well, I think the one thing that'll be interesting that I know a lot of Democrats are going to look at.
Are you just passing over my...
No, I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
I'm going to answer it. I think the thing that's interesting that I'm going to be looking for, that DDHQ will be looking at too, is what we have seen to this point in a lot of the polling with Biden is that a lot of Democrats have not been enthusiastic at all about Biden at the top ticket. Will that, and even if the numbers nationally and in general election matchups stay more or less the same within the error margin, will the enthusiasm gap, though, for Democrats change? Will that all of a sudden go up? Because I still think that this is a get your side to turn out to vote election more than anything. And to this point, there's been no enthusiasm, no energy, no excitement behind the Biden-Harris ticket. Does that change now that Harris is at that top?
The flip side, right, is it could also more motivate. There's a lot of, I think, people who may have been okay with Joe Biden in Michigan and Pennsylvania, that they find Kamala Harris, and we can go through that she wants to end fracking, that she's okay with illegal immigration, essentially. She wants to defund the police. She talked about abolishing ICE. those kinds of things, Scott, may turn out even more Republican voters, right?
Yeah, that's why that VP pick is very important. You know, as Kurt, pointed out, and we should record this, he was right. Ha! Talking point was good, right? If she wins Pennsylvania, she has an 86% chance of winning the presidency.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.